What's up everybody, Teancum here with Sew Yeah Quilting. Now, why do we need sewing cabinets in 2022? This video is going to explain all the different reasons why, on top of how to select the perfect cabinet for you. Let's get started. So, one of the biggest reasons why you need a sewing cabinet instead of your kitchen table or just some table that you got off Amazon is that the original sewing machines were built in tables. Now, a lot of people have the argument of, well, it had to be that way because they were treadles. But in reality, they were built into tables to be the perfect height. That way they're ergonomically correct for your back and for your posture. Now, one of the biggest things about sewing tables is a really good sewing table moves up and down. So for instance, I got my machine at tabletop height, and with just one simple adjustment here, we can move this table to lowered heights. That way, my machine will sit flush with the table and it will be at the perfect sewing height. Now, what's the difference between down and up? Let me pull it back up so I can show you guys. Is that the sewing machine hasn't really changed over the last 200-ish years here. It's similar mechanics, they all kind of sew. But what we did is we made them portable. Starting with one of the most famous machines out there is the Singer Featherweight. Everyone has one. It's one of the most portable machines out there. But this simple raise of height due to portability raised our hands from being at tabletop height to now sewing machine height, which does not seem like much of a difference. But if I'm sitting here at my sewing table and I've got my hands here, you can see that there's no stress on the shoulders. My shoulders aren't up any or anything like that. It's a perfect tabletop height. It's the reason why the table is built at a standard height across America, because it just works. Now, if we raise it up 3 inches, I'm gonna bring my machine closer to me. If you see here, my shoulders have now gone up, and that will cause strain on the neck, and it's gonna cause strain on the back. So what do we do to overcompensate? What we do is we slide back a little bit and we hunch forward. Now again, the neck will be released here, but the back is going to start hurting. The main reason why we have sewing machine cabinets is to be ergonomically correct while we are sitting here at the table. Now in this video, you're gonna learn all about the different kinds of cabinets that are out there, but most importantly are the 2 main reasons for cabinets, which is ergonomically correct and having a sacred place for your sewing machine, a place where you can just sit down, unwind, and start sewing, not drag the machine out of the closet to set it onto your kitchen table. That's a really important feature of having a cabinet. Now, do you need all of this that's in here to be a quilter or a sewer? The answer is no. It's really how much are you going to invest in your hobby. If you are just starting out, just start out, get some material, start making a couple of quilts. But as you progress in the hobby, make sure these things are on your list, that you're going to end up with a sewing cabinet eventually. The reason being is it is such a physical body save. Your back won't hurt, your neck won't hurt, you won't have a lot of those problems. If you have a cutting station, you're not bending over all the time to cut. It's just an overall better sewing experience every single time. So if you love the craft and love the hobby, make sure you're investing in equipment that allows you to do it more. Now, let's go into how to prepare to select your cabinet. So guys, we have an entire video on how to transform your sewing room space for a reasonable price, but it all starts with knowing your space. Everyone grab your tape measure and measure your room. On this one, I have 9 feet 3.5 inches. So I'm gonna just call it 9 foot 3 inches. Give myself that 1/2 inch wiggle room there. This is 7 foot 8 inches and a quarter. Okay, so we're gonna call it 7 foot 8 inches there. That way we know our sewing space. Now another thing that you need to decide while we're in our room is kind of the orientation of how you like your cabinets. I'm a big believer of putting things on the wall and then having a nice walkway through them. However, you can put everything in the middle, have a nice walkway around them. That is up to you. But since I know I have just over 9 feet here, I want to plan how wide I'm going to allow my aisle to be. Now, the average size is going to be 3 feet. Now, I think 3 feet is just not enough, okay? Here at Sew Yeah, in our storefront, everywhere there's 4 feet because it just makes the room look bigger and brighter. So I'm gonna give myself 4 feet here. That way I know exactly how wide my cabinets need to be. So if we take our 9 feet minus 4 feet, that leaves us with 5 feet of space to be able to put our cabinets in place here and have a nice walkway. Now the next thing to do is it's time to go into the store, look at all the different cabinet options, and make the best decision for us. So here we are at our cabinet show floor. Let me start showing you a little bit around here. Now, first thing is cabinets don't have to be gigantic, and that's something that people forget about the cabinet industry. When we walk into our local quilt store, they normally have something like this that's, you know, 12 feet wide, has every bell and whistle and all those kinds of things. However, they make really small cabinets as well. Let me give you this one for instance. This is a beginner's cabinet, what I like to call it. You're going to get your sewing machine, you're gonna get a cabinet, you're in a smaller space, but you wanna make a really nice space for yourself. Simple cabinet right here. All you have to do is open the top, open the side, they rest on top of each other, and now you have yourself a nice workspace. Now, something that I love about this brand in particularly is they use a compression-based system or a spring-loaded system. Sewing machine inside the cabinet, all you have to do is push on it, push down, and it pops it up to tabletop height. Now, you can get inserts for these, which I'm going to show you here in just a second, which then means when you pop it down, it will rest perfectly flat with your tabletop with an insert that covers the rest. You have to realize that they have to use an insert system because, quite frankly, there are so many different machines, models, makes, and sizes that they need to be able to make these custom for every cabinet. Now, take a cabinet like this. This right here is the Bandicoot. It's one of our best selling cabinets. It comes in 3 colors. It's going to come in this beautiful gray, white, and then the brown, which is called teak. Now, it uses the exact same system as the rest of the cabinets. It's a compression-based system, but it has a little bit extra bells and whistles. It's got your spool holders for the left side, spool holders on the right side. It is fully collapsible. Let me slide this out of the way here. It is fully collapsible to fit a very small footprint. And again, I'm working in a room that's only 9 by 7, it's smaller than the average bedroom. So I do have a small space. And obviously the reveal is always nice on these to open these up. And you have yourself your workstation. A nice place you keep everything together, and your sewing machine is not stuck in the closet and you know where it's at and it's safe. But with cabinets is price. You don't have to go out and spend $6,000 on a cabinet. Cabinets normally range anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 to $8,000. Just like the sewing machine world. You have sewing machines at $100 all the way up to $20,000. Which goes to my next point. It's okay if you come into the quilt store or if you're shopping online to will and deal a little bit here. You know what? You could probably get this maybe with a free insert. Maybe they can give you a discount on one of these amazing chairs. Make sure you're talking to your dealership or your dealership online to see what's the best price point they can give you. Which brings me to one of my next points here, is understanding the budget. So, when you have a budget, you need to understand that the salesperson wants you to spend your budget. That makes sense, right? It's their job to do that. However, something that we found that helps us out tremendously is when the customer comes in, let's say they have a $3,000 budget, they come in and they say, I have a $2,500 budget. Why? Because then we can see what's the best thing under $3,000, not right at $3,000 and above, if that makes sense. Let's say this cabinet setup right here was $2,600, and I know you have $2,500. I'll say to you, ma'am, this right here is $2,600. We can give you a deal on it to make sure you're under budget. So make sure you skew your numbers a little bit. That way you have a cushion, because if you find what you love and it happens to be $100 more, it's still within budget. So something that we have to mention is that there are 2 different cabinet types. There are expandable cabinets, and then there are your standard cabinet here. So What an expandable or retractable cabinet is that they all kind of fold down into this really small cabinet. A non-expandable means it's stationary. What you see is what you get. For instance, this is a stationary cabinet. So if I pull this in here, I'm going to be able to fold down some of the cabinet pieces and parts, as you can see there. And you can see how I'm retracting this cabinet down to a much smaller size. So as you can see here, in just a couple of seconds, we've reduced the size of this cabinet. However, there's nothing that's flipping on top of it to cover the tops. This is designed to sit in place. It's supposed to be your sewing station, not necessarily pack it all up and put it in the corner, if that makes sense. Let me show you a cabinet that's gigantic, but when you pack it all up, you can see how much more compressed it is. Let's go over there. So this is an expandable cabinet here. They're absolutely amazing cabinets, but you have to understand what they do. This cabinet is also gigantic. It's one of the biggest on the market. It is 8 feet 10 inches, about 6 feet. So it won't even fit in my room almost. It's just such a massive cabinet, fully open. Now, that doesn't mean it can't close, but when it's closed, you can't sew. So you have to understand the differences here. Let me close this all up so everyone can see. So, the back part folds down. The side portion here folds in. This beautiful extra drawer set pops in and folds all the way down. Cabinet rolls over. Let me unlock that wheel. Cabinet rolls over. Sewing machine itself gets pushed all the way down. Second side folds in. Then lastly, this one comes down. So, gigantic table is now, so it used to be 8 foot by 6 foot. It is now only 4 feet 5 inches by 2 foot. Amazing cabinet here. And if you have the space for a cabinet like this, absolutely. But you have to understand, you can't sew when it's closed. I know in my case, I need a cabinet that I can leave and it always be ready to sew. I don't have the ability to open it and close it up in such a small room. So that's where I'm going to be looking next. So guys, I found a cabinet that's gonna fit my space very nicely. I've already pulled out my tape here and it is 57 inches. So I have plenty of extra space so far to put this in here. Now, the couple things that I like about this cabinet for my space. First is that when it's completely closed down, you can still sew. Second, it's got an extended leaf in the back. That way I can pull it away from the wall and get a little extra space if I need to. A little bonus feature is that it's got a little side leaf if I wanted to expand it. So for me and my needs, this is an amazing cabinet for me. A cabinet this size would normally run about $3,000 to $4,000. The Krista is only 1,700 bucks. Now, if you're with your local dealer, you could probably will and deal that price down a little bit, or maybe get a free insert or something like that. So for me, it's gonna be roughly 1,800 bucks, including my insert. And since I'm in a local dealership, I can take a floor model and take it right home with me. So it makes it really, really easy. Now it's time to pick out a couple of extra things just to fill in my space. So something that I need for my space personally is a cutting station. I'm dealing with a very, very small, compact space. This one is absolutely beautiful and it fits my space wonderfully. However, there's a however here, is it's outside my budget for my particular project. It's a beautiful cabinet, it's only 1,600 bucks. However, it's a little bit out of space or a little bit out of budget for me for the project that I'm working on. And that does not include the cutting mat, that's an additional price. So that's okay. It's okay to have something that's out of your budget. Keep looking and talk to the sales representatives because they can help you out here. Because this cabinet here, I'm gonna push it away and I'm gonna bring you the economy version of it. This is the economy version of that same cabinet. So it has a wonderful top on it. It has everything that I'm gonna need for my space. Let me show you this little guy here. Again, very small space. The fact that this collapses to the footprint that it is amazing. This guy out, it has a clip-in spot right there. And then it has a secondary that comes out here to make sure that we are stable. Same thing on the other side, and something that I love about this is that if this is all the space that I need to use, I can keep it halfway opened or fully opened. So I'm gonna pop this one out, pull it out, clip that into place, and it has this amazing top for me here. I already have plenty of cutting mats I can throw on top of here and do all the cutting that I need to do, but the added bonus on this particular cabinet is that it has an ironing station that flips out. It fits beautifully in my room on the opposite end of my sewing cabinet, and if I need extra space for that cabinet that flips out, I can collapse this guy, put him in the corner, and then bring my sewing station out. It's very, very important that you understand the flow of your sewing room. And for me, this fits in budget. It's only $700. So to be able to get it at the price point, fits in my room, this is the one that I'm going to go with. I know on the wall that I'm putting this cabinet on, I have 92 inches. And it's more like 92 and a half, but for sure 92. So when I take a measure of this, I know to the furthest point, I've got 56 and a half inches. Now, there's a little cabinet that I can get that goes on the side of this that adds me a little cutting station and a little ironing station. Let me grab it and bring it into you. So, this little add-on cabinet is called the Kiwi. It comes with this amazing little ironing mat next to my sewing station, and on top of that, it comes with a rotary cutting mat to go right next to it. Now, since I know my numbers, I can confidently say that when I put them both together, I measure all the way down, I have 91 and a quarter inches. So I have about 3/4 of an inch extra space, and this will just fit beautifully inside my room. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this, but since I'm buying enough product here that I'm getting my cabinet, I'm gonna get my cutting station, I'm gonna pick up an extra one of these. This is where wheeling and dealing gets really, really good. I want a little bit of a discount maybe, or maybe I want a sewing chair. Make sure you know what you want. Don't just say, give me a deal, right? Make sure you know kind of what you're looking for, and then us as a business can make that happen for you. In this instance, if someone came into our store, purchased the cabinets and the cutting station, we would give them a free chair. And we would most likely ship it in-house for us to be able to deliver it to your home free. Now, not every store is that way, and not every single cabinet sell you get those opportunities, but make sure you're asking for those opportunities, because if a quilt store can help you, they'll try to help you out there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check out, get all my cabinets, and get them right into my sewing space. So guys, we are back in our sewing studio here, and everything fits exactly perfect. I stayed within my budget, on top of knowing my measurements came in clutch right there at the end, because I was able to get this little cabinet that fit perfectly in my extra space there. So we hope that this video helps you in the process of picking out your next sewing machine cabinet. And guys, down in the description below, let us know if you have a cabinet or what features you are looking for in your next cabinet. If you've liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you have a question, don't be afraid to call us. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.